Jayhawks up front, they score! Hello and welcome from inside Independence Community Ice. It's game 2 of the weekend where Kansas looks to end on a high note. There's about 30 plus seconds left of pregame warm-ups here before we get set. It's the Kansas Jayhawks and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Jayhawks heading into this game 5-4-0 on the year after a 5-2 win last night, where the Nebraska Cornhuskers come in at 2-4-2-1 on the year, looking to avoid being swept for the second weekend in a row. Again, last night was a milestone night for number 16, Tyler Nelson, as he scored his 100th career point with a goal and 2 assists. Again, as the 100th point was on the empty net late into the game. So, again, just want to congratulate Nelson on a remarkable accomplishment. As it's the same situation as last night, there's no public address announcer. So there will be no national anthem or starting lineup announcements. So the only delay here as we wait on both teams to pick up warm-up pucks. They'll head back into a huddle, get some last words of encouragement before the Saturday afternoon action. Again, I'm Gabe Daniel, the play-by-play voice of Jayhawk hockey. I don't have a broadcast partner this weekend, so it's just me that you guys are listening to. Starting lineup for Kansas will be about the exact same as last night, with Tyler Nelson at center, Caleb Dusso and Riley Vitullo at his wings. Back at defense, it'll be Zach Roberts and Blake Kern, and then in goal, it'll be number 30, Mitch Miles. For the Huskers, it looks like it'll be Ben McGinnis, Jake Quevedo, and Cade Baronstraw up front. Back at defense, it'll be number 7, Sean Rogers, with number 61, Gregory Pate. And then in goal tonight, it'll be number 39, Jacob Broadfoot. As Nelson won the faceoff, back over to Roberts, who quickly tried to get it up over to Dusso. Then it's chipped into the zone, and the Huskers will get it back. The headman pass interfered there with Roberts, so the Huskers will have to try to break it out again, as it was Pate trying to bank it off the boards in front of the Jayhawk bench. Goes right to the tape of Zach Roberts, who got it over to Dusso, who got it up, but Rogers sent it back the other way. So now it'll be Blake Hearn trying to headman pass. Unable to connect with Vitullo, so he goes all the way under the goal line, and Vitullo gets beat to the puck, but Nelson gets it right back. A shot on net, turned aside there by Broadfoot, and the Jayhawks trying to provide pressure early on, but the puck will come all the way back behind the Kansas net, and it'll be picked up by Roberts. Roberts left it for Hearn, who tried to get the headman pass up to Medina, but the Huskers will get it back as it's taken away by Siddons. Medina unable to get the tip in up front, so he'll have it in the corner. Got it to Breyer at the point. Breyer to the corner over to Feeney, who tried to settle it to Medina, and Medina there able to break that one up. As it's Siddons now with it. Siddons try to get it over to Feeney. As Feeney has it now on his backhand. He threw it behind the net over to Siddons. Siddons tried to center it up over to Medina. The puck was loose, and it's going to be taken away there by Heiberg. Now Siddons got it back. Brandt with it, trying to send it out of the zone. Heiberg left it for Davis. As it's going to be sent into the zone by number 23, Trevor Hoffman. Picked up by Breyer as he was able to wrap it out of the zone over to Feeney. Feeney with a backhand pass over to Siddons. Siddons try to cut it to center, but it's going to be pressured off by Brown. And Brown will wrap it around over to Datina. Datina able to get past Gerber, but he's going to be shrugged off the puck there by Breyer before getting it right back. And then a pass over to Weber. Weber trying to pass it up front, but Gerber able to shake things off. As the Huskers still have it. Weber tried a shot, couldn't get it on net as it's thrown to the corner. Now Leroy with it. And it'll be a shot on net. Miles will cover it up for a whistle with 17:37 left to go in period number 1. As a face-off win by Kansas, Sudeikis tried to get it out, but the Huskers crank it right back in. It'll be Brown dumping it around the boards. Bienkowski with it at the point. It's going to be poked out by Gerber. Gerber threw it to the corner. But getting there first was Brown. Over to Bienkowski. Bienkowski up to Weber. Weber on the left side will try to get the headman up over to Leroy. Leroy having a curl back at the slot, poked out by Gerber. And the Huskers have to regroup. As this can be Bienkowski carrying it in on the left side. As it'll ride the glass. Schubert getting it out now as it was tipped up there by Meade. And an icing on the Jayhawks, so the puck will go all the way back into the Kansas zone with 16:48 left to go. So the Huskers with it, a shot by Rogers, tipped up front, turned aside by Miles. Now off the rebound, it looked like it was Zafransky trying to get it out. As there's a wrister from the point, sent wide, and now Gerber will have it as he skates in on the right side. As turnover there in the neutral zone, Gerber chips it right back in. The Jayhawks had to get back on side, so that'll slow things down a little bit. Now Roberts with it, trying to get a bank pass up to Nelson. Nelson unaware of the pass. But either way, he'll get the puck right back. Now Nelson. He's going to skate it through center ice. He'll cut towards the left side before dropping it back to Roberts, who tried to wrist one on net, tipped up front by Duso. And now the Huskers will skate it out. This is going to be Berenstraw with it. Shot sent wide. Trying to tip it up front was Berenstraw, but it looked like Miles got a piece of that as it was Vitullo. The headman pass. Now Duso racing after it in the corner as Duso under the goal line. Getting some help from Vitullo, but either way, the Huskers will get it as McGinnis got it up to Berenstraw. Berenstraw on the right side, throws one on net, turned aside by Miles, and the rebound thrown to the corner. As it was a pass up front, hit a stick. It looked like Hearn broke that play up as it's Holderfield with it now at the blue line. Nelson able to get it out. A 2-on-1 if Kansas can hurry as Nelson waits, shoots, he scores! Tyler Nelson picking up right where he left off last night, getting the Jayhawks on the board just about 5 minutes in, and it's a 1-0 game with 15:03 left to go in the first period. So that was Nelson's 12th goal of the year. As Medina had the puck poked away from him, it's going to be Davis for the Huskers. On the left side, he tries to make a move around Hearn, but it's to be turned over. Lance Medina with it now for the Jayhawks. The headman pass up to Blake Hearn. Now Hearn with it, shooting one off the mask of Broadfoot, and he'll hang on to that one. 14:33 left to go. Period number 1. The Jayhawks lead 1-0. As holding the line there was Hearn. Hearn through traffic, turned aside there. Into the corner where Feeney will settle it to Siddons. Siddons with it. Shoots and he scores! Number 7, Brett Siddons now. And it's 2-0 Jayhawks. So less than a minute apart, Brett Siddons will join the scoring party. As the face-off, quickly taken back by Kansas, as Schubert with it. He'll skate it in on the right side, shooting one, and a save by Broadfoot, with a stoppage coming with 14:01 left to go in the period. So the face-off won by the Huskers, as it's Pate using the boards to send it over to Zafransky, as he'll get a headman pass up over to Treader. As the Huskers dump it back in, it'll be picked up by Zadakis. Zadakis getting one up to Gerber, who had to bat the puck to himself. For the Huskers, send it back out. Goes right to the tape of Schubert. He's shrugged off the puck there. Now Pate will pick it up for the Huskers. He'll throw it in. It'll go to the corner before bouncing over to McGinnis. And it looks like the Jayhawks able to get the puck out of the zone. But the Huskers send it right back in. A shot from the point sent wide. As Kansas now is struggling a little bit to get it out. Connor Brace goes in to help out along the boards. It'll be picked up by Breyer. Breyer will curl around his own net before lofting it up into the air. It'll bounce in, and racing after it is Brace. Walter Brandt got there first, but it's to be held in there by Meade. And the Huskers now with a break of their own as Davis turn it over. Around the boards. Roberts unable to win the race, but the puck finds its way over to Fantoni. Fantoni behind his own net. Tries to chip it out of the zone off the glass, but the Huskers hold it in, but it looks like an offsides call will give us a stoppage with 12:13 left to go in the first period. Roberts over to Walsh. The headman pass unable to connect with Vitullo, and it looks like it'll be an icing on Kansas with 12:01 left to go in the first period. Scores 2-0 thanks to goals from Nelson and Siddons. As the Jayhawks with it off the faceoff, off the glass. It was a pass intended for Vitullo, but the Huskers crank it back the other way. It'll be picked up in the left corner by Walsh, passed over to Roberts. Roberts gives it right back. Walsh will then connect with Dusso. Dusso swings in on the left side, turned over. It'll be picked up by Heiberg, and then unable to maintain control as Nelson got it right back. As the puck found its way over to Dusso, but the Huskers have it again. Now Heiberg with it, moving in a shot. Miles turning it to the corner. Van Heerden with it now. Got it up to Duso, who tried to get it over to Vitullo. And there's going to be a battle for it there. But the Huskers will maintain possession. Bienkowski tried the headman pass up to Weber. Weber's going to be met there by Duso. So the puck will go to Van Heerden. But it's quickly taken back by Quevedo. To Pate. Sending it back to the corner to Datina. Datina. Unable to do anything there as he'll get the puck right back over to Leroy. As it was passed to Datina, the Jayhawks had enough slot presence there, so they get it back. Duso got it to Feeney. Feeney got it into the zone, and that'll get a change going for the Jayhawks. This is going to be Pate with it. Pate across to Datina. Datina on the left side, try to toe drag move there, poked off by Breyer. Now a shot going over the net there. Siddons trying to get it out of the zone. It'll be picked up by Medina, and Medina will fly in. As he swings to the left side, making a toe drag move. Medina tried a shot up front, making the save there was Broadfoot. And that brings us past the halfway point of this first period. So Siddons won the faceoff over to Medina. Medina tried to play it back under the goal line, but it's going to be Hearn holding the line there. Hearn sent it right back over to Medina. Medina gets sat down by Brandt, and then the puck held in by Hearn again. Hearn making a move around one man, able to dodge a hit, but lost control of the puck as this could be skated out by Treader. It's going to be a 2-on-1 for the Huskers. Treader passing it across, and the play is broken up there as it'll be Holderfield with it. Shot up front, turned aside by Miles, and a save made here. And the stoppage with 9:26 left to go. So another Jayhawk faceoff win as looked like it was Roberts trying to send it out using the boards, but the Huskers hold it in as it's Zadakis now in the corner, trying to find it up to Gerber. The Huskers took it away, but a nice stick lift there by Friedhoff. Got the puck back over to Schubert. And then a save made by Miles with 9:04 left to go in period number 1. Kansas still trying to get it out of the zone. Friedhoff sent it out. On the puck for the Huskers is Holderfield from behind his own net. He's going to be pressured by both Gerber and Friedhoff. That forced an uncomfortable play, but the puck will be skated out by Quevedo. He'll move to the left side for a backhand pass over to Baronstraw, but couldn't connect there as it'll be Zadakis with it. Behind the Kansas net. He's getting pressured there. About 8:25 left to go in the first period. Score is still 2-0. Now Roberts with it, trying to get a bank pass over to Gerber. It's going to be taken away by McGinnis. McGinnis skates it into the zone, and that'll be a penalty on Kansas. For kneeing. So Zach Schubert, the guilty party. It'll be a Husker power play with 8:04 left to go. And right off the faceoff, the Jayhawks will dump it down as the puck will be left for Walter Brandt. From behind his own net, he left it for Leroy, but Leroy instead will leave it for Brandt, as Brandt will lead the breakout. On the left side, Brandt stops at the hash marks before getting it back to Weber. Weber played it over to Brandt as he tries to pass in the slot, but it's Caleb Dusso clearing the puck down once more. About 35 seconds already taken off of this Husker power play, as this could be Datina with it. Datina try to backhand pass over to Leroy. Leroy through center. He'll cut towards the left side. Toe dragging his way under the goal line. He'll go around. At the other hash marks, a bank pass over to Brandt, but the puck bounced off his stick. And there's just a minute left on this power play now. As Datina on the right side makes a move around Nessa. Lost control. As it was a nice break up there by Nelson, but the Huskers still maintain possession. Now Datina from the point. Wrist one through traffic, turned aside there as Kansas unable to clear it out. Brandt holding the line across over to Datina. Wrist one tipped up front. Miles making the save there. Flurry of chaos, and the puck will be backhanded out of the zone by Dusso. Picked up by Nelson. Nelson waits over to Dusso, and it's just going to go to the corner. Puck was in the crease, and it'll be a penalty called on the Huskers as Nelson will draw it back. Over to Breyer. Breyer to Hearn, who saucers it over. It'll be Breyer trying to get it out of the zone. Touched by Nebraska in a Kansas power play. So it'll be Timmy Leroy heading into the box. With 6:02 left to go. Gerber right off the face-off, a shot just going over the net. And it'll be over to Roberts. Roberts will chip it into the corner. Biankowski trying to clear it out, but fanned on it. And it'll be picked up there by Baronstraw, and he's going to skate it out. Shot on net. Miles will hang on to it. And a stoppage with 5:41 left to go. So the Jayhawks with it off the face-off. It's going to be passed over to Hearn. As Hearn will do a saucer pass up to Feeney. Feeney walking it in. Broadfoot turning it aside, but unable to hold the line there was Roberts. So he'll have to chase back after it. He gets it to Hearn. Hearn makes a move around one man. He's going to skate it up. He'll cut towards the right side before getting poked off by Davis. And now Davis on the left side will just wrap it around the boards. Roberts will pick it up back behind his own net. As it's left for Feeney. Feeney kicking the puck to himself. Gets a saucer pass up over to Medina. Now Medina. Bank pass over to Hearn. Medina back to Hearn. Plays broken up, but Feeney unable to keep control. And then now it's a 2-on-1 for the Huskers. A shot by Heiberg right to the glove of Miles, and a stoppage with 4:42 left to go. 40 seconds left on the Kansas power play, and they'll send out their power play 1 unit. So a backhand pass over to Nelson. So he gets it across to Dusso. Dusso settled it for Nelson. Nelson to Nessa. So Nessa got it across to Zadakis. Zadakis dropped it back. Now Dusso with it. Try to shoot it through traffic, but it hit the skate of Rogers. And it looked like Nessa got knocked down. He was able to get a pass over to Zadakis on his back. And a couple of penalties being handed out here. So Nelson and Rogers will head to the box. There's a little bit of a delay here as they got to get both penalties on the scores, on the score sheet and on the scoreboard here inside Independence Community Ice. Penalties are supposed to be offsetting. So it actually looks like it'll be 4-on-3 for a little bit. As they have to get the penalties fixed on the scoreboard here. All right, so it looks like we have everything settled here. It's going to be number 16, Tyler Nelson, and number 7, Sean Rogers heading off, which gives us 4-on-3 for about the next 3 seconds or so. So 1 more second until number 49, Timmy Leroy, is out of the box, and then it is 4-on-4. So now 4-on-4 hockey for about the next minute 48 as Duso curls around the net, looking for an open opportunity. Instead, he'll button hook around. He's pressured off the puck there by Datina, but quickly getting it back was Vitullo. Vitullo to Duso, back to Duso in the corner, who finds it to Zadakis now. Zadakis playing it across to Vitullo. Vitullo now at the hash mark, trying to backhand pass, but that's taken away by number 49 for the Huskers. As it's Leroy, a shot on net, turned aside by Miles, and picking up the rebound there was Duso. Duso trying to get it up to Vitullo. As the puck will enter the zone, Zadakis trying to help out Vitullo, but it'll be sent back out. Now Walsh on it. The puck finds its way to Zadakis. He lost control as Datina was able to take it away. And now Datina with it. He tries a shot and he scores. A nice little toe drag release makes it 2-1 with 3:03 left to go in period number 1. So the face-off won by the Jayhawks. as it was Walsh passing it to Van Heerden. Van Heerden dumped it in over to Feeney, who tried to center it over to Siddons. It's going to be held in by Walsh to Feeney in the corner as it just wrapped around the boards a little too hard, but Feeney got it right back. Feeney left it for Siddons. Now Siddons with it. So Siddons now over to Feeney, just unable to connect on the one-time opportunity. Now Siddons with the toe drag move. Now Feeney in the corner. Got it back to Siddons. Siddons to Van Heerden, who wrist one, and a glove save made there by Broadfoot with 2:14 left to go. Six more seconds of 4-on-4 as the score is 2-1. Nelson and Siddons, the goal scorers for the Jayhawks, and it's number 69, Evan Datina for Nebraska. Thrown to the corner. Vitullo able to win the battle as he'll curl around the net. Vitullo still getting pressured. See, backhanded it over to Duso. Duso throwing it back in. Trying to get it to Vitullo, but it's going to be taken back by Rogers. Vitullo using his body broke that play up. This little wrap around the boards over to Hoffman before it's taken back by Nelson. Now Nelson shoots one, kicked away by Broadfoot, and the Huskers able to get it out as it's over to Davis on the left side. Now Davis try to pass through center. Duso broke up, and now it's going to be sent over to Nelson. Nelson on the left side, pressured off the puck, thrown to the corner, and he'll pick it up back behind the net. Able to complete a pass over to Gerber. Now Gerber around the net, centered it over to Friedhoff. Puck was loose. Backhand shot and a save made there by Broadfoot. And we get a whistle with 1:18 left to go. So the face-off won by the Huskers, skated out by Leroy. He's going to try to make a move around Schubert. He'll get a pass over to Tina, try to center it up front, and Miles made the save there with 1:08 left to go. As it's wrapped around over to Gerber, try to backhand it out of the zone as it's cranked right back in by the Huskers. A weird bouncing puck finds its way over to Breyer. Breyer trying to get it out. As now it's Schubert, able to get it out off the boards, trying to find Friedhoff, but Schubert will get it right back. He's going to walk it in. He'll shoot it. It's going to miss the net there, but it'll use the boards to get right to Gerber. Now Gerber try to find someone at the point, but it'll trickle out. It'll be picked up by Lance Medina. Medina drop past to Schubert. Schubert off the boards. Now skated in by Weber. As they try to center it to Leroy, but a nice break up on the back door by the Kansas defense. Zadakis trying to get it out. As it's thrown back to the corner. Now 10 seconds left to go. Leroy has it. It's thrown back the other way. Looks like Zafransky trying to set something up there. And that'll do it for the first period. Kansas will head off with a 2-1 lead. We'll be back in just about 15 minutes or so for period number 2. Hello and welcome back for period number 2 of game number 2 of the weekend series. As it's Kansas out with the 2-1 lead. As it's Hearn trying the headman pass up to Nelson. Nelson backhanded it over to Dusso. And Dusso will carry it in on the left side. See, lost control of the puck. It'll be picked up there by Vitullo. Vitullo trying to settle it back the other way. And then it's thrown to the far corner. Now Roberts backhanding it back into the zone before the Huskers dump it back out, and it's going to be picked up into the corner by Hearn as he'll go back behind his own net before backhanding it over to Roberts. Now to Vitullo. Vitullo getting it up to Hearn, who got it to Nelson, and then Nelson lost control, and the Huskers will chip it back in. Now it's going to be Roberts picking it up. See, coasts around the Kansas net, dropping it back to Hearn. The headman up to Vitullo. A nice little move there as it's sent over to Dusso, who chipped it into the zone. That got a change going for the Jayhawks. As the Huskers will skate it back down. Thrown in behind the net, picked up by Nessa. Nessa now on the left side. The headman pass up over to Feeney. A little too far, and the referee in the way. So the Jayhawks have to regroup. Back to Breyer, through center ice. He'll chop it into the corner, and it looked like that went out. So we get a stoppage here with 18:22 left to go. 2-1 our score. Again, the goal is coming from Nelson and Siddons for Kansas, and then Datina for the Huskers. As off the faceoff, it was Siddons with it, but he's poked off, and it'll be skated in by number 27. That's Heiberg. Over to Hoffman. Hoffman left it for Davis. Davis ran into there by Breyer, and then poked away by Siddons. Pass in the slot by Heiberg, broken up there by Medina, but it's up to Davis, and he's poked off. Then a shot through traffic, blocked up front. Couldn't tell who it was. It might have been Breyer, but it's going to be Siddons carrying it down on the left side. Try to make a toe drag move. Broken up there by Biankowski. It'll be Feeney trying to hold the line. As it's back over to Medina. Medina shot through traffic, turned aside by Broadfoot. And then a big save made by him. And now the Huskers with an odd man rush. They've got numbers. And so does Kansas, as it was Nessa poking it away. As Miles tried to clear it out of the zone, held in there. A nice play by Nessa, poking one man off the puck, but the Huskers have it right back as Davis tried to center it. And there's going to be a penalty on Luke Nessa for interference. That stoppage comes with 17-17. Left to go in the middle frame. Face-off taking place to the left of Mitch Miles. But the Huskers win the draw. As they walk it in, a shot and save made by Miles off the shoulder, and he'll jump out on top of it. And we get another whistle just 7 seconds later. Huskers on the power play for the next minute, 53 seconds. Brandt with a backhand pass. On the back door, it was Datina with it. Now Leroy. As it's sent to the point, Walter Brandt on it, poked off by Zadakis. Brandt got the shot off still. Kicking it away was Miles. Walsh tried to slap it out of the zone, but it's going to be Brandt holding the line. Brandt over to Leroy. Shot through traffic, blocked up front. Then Feeney will spin around and get it out of the zone. So a minute 10 left to go on the Husker power play. Weber tipped it into the zone. Schubert picking up the puck now. He uses the boards to get it over to Vitullo, and Vitullo will skate it down on the left side. He tries a shot, and it'll go right to Broadfoot. And we get a stoppage with 16:12 left to go. So a quieter start to this second period. As the face-off won by Nebraska, as they turn it over at the neutral zone and get it right back. There's a little miscue there, but Biankowski will try to lead the charge. He'll swing in on the left side. Tries a shot that was blocked by Van Heerden. McGinnis was able to dodge a hit from Van Heerden, but Van Heerden now with it in the corner. Referee telling players to move the puck so there's not a whistle here, as it'll be McGinnis with it now. McGinnis over to Quevedo. There's Quevedo with it again. Kansas back to full strength as it's going to be poked out of the zone by Nelson. Nelson gets hauled down here. This is going to be Vitullo with it. A backhand shot turned aside. It'll be back behind the net now. Siddons with it in the corner. He's going to coast around with it. He looked like he tried to get a pass to the point, but the Huskers intercept it as they walk it in a shot. Turned aside by Miles as he threw it to the corner. Roberts laying a hit there on Berenstraw. Roberts was wanting a hold there, but Van Heerden will send it out. And it goes to the length for an icing as that stoppage comes with 14:34 left to go. So poked off the puck there was Treader, but a drive from the point there. It goes a little over the net. Van Heerden with it now. As he tries to get it out, but it's going to be held in there by number 16, Chase Treader. Blockered away by Miles. Now Safransky spinning around, trying to backhand shot. And the Jayhawks will skate it out now as Vitullo has it on the left wing. He stops as he tries to throw it down to the corner. As Holderfield with it now. Got it up over to Beaster. Beaster backhands it over to Holderfield, and it's over to Treader, who couldn't quite get control. Now Nessa for the Jayhawks. Swings on the right side. Nessa had 2 goals last night. As he'll walk through center now. He gets sent down. That's going to get called. And a Kansas power play on its way as we have about 13:37 remaining in the second period. So off the face-off, it'll be the Jayhawks with it. Nessa trying to get a play going there, but it's going to be dumped out. As this going to be Miles settling it. Got it over to Zadakis. Zadakis pressured off the puck, but he was able to back in it into the zone, and the Huskers trying to get it back out. As Nelson with it now. He backhands it over to Nessa. That's dumped into the zone. A nice interception in the corner by Zadakis. Left it for Siddons. Now Siddons fighting for it. to Zadakis now. Back behind the Husker net. Siddons with it once more. Now to Nessa. Siddons to Nessa. Right back over to Siddons. Falling down, trying to make a pass there. But the Huskers get it out. So Zadakis now to Siddons, who tried to backhand it over to Nessa. Couldn't quite get that connected there. Now the Huskers took it away as it's Timmy Leroy with it. As it's sent back in to the Nebraska zone. They'll clear it all the way back down. No icing as the Huskers are on the penalty kill. Datino with the short side angle just over the net. And it'll be Siddons trying to pick it up. Siddons making a move around one man, walking it in. See, waits at the hash mark, still coasting a shot and a save made by Broadfoot. And the stoppage coming with 11:55 left to go in the second period. Kansas still on the power play for the next 19 seconds. So a face-off win over to Blake Hearn as it's thrown to the corner. And that puck will go out of play. So 3 more seconds until Holderfield is out of the box. 11:39 left in the second period. 2-1 still our score. So Nebraska back to full strength as they have the puck in their own zone. As it's going to be Feeney with it, curling around, trying to wrap around, shot up front to Friedhoff, and he scores! It looked like it was Cade Friedhoff getting a feed from number 4, John Feeney. And the Jayhawks regain the 2-goal lead. As it's dumped in over to Schubert. He left it for Breyer. Now Breyer trying to saucer it up over to Nelson. But Nebraska takes it away. Breyer gets it right back. Sent over to Vitullo. Caught it, put it right down. And he'll crank it around the boards over to do so. Now Nelson trying to make a move around one man. He gets pushed off the puck. And the Huskers will take it away. Fort Dusso got it right back. Forced it back in. Huskers sent it right back. And it looks like an icing will be called here with 10:43 left to go. So Dusso on the faceoff over to Nelson as Schubert tried to get a one-time opportunity over to Breyer. That missed the net there. So Walter Brandt will have it from the far corner. He tried to send it out, and he'll skate it out on the right side. He dumps it in. That'll get a change going for the Huskers as Schubert will get it up to Vitullo. Took a weird bounce. Now Vitullo needing a little bit of help here. He'll get it from Schubert. As now it's going to be number 13, Matt Zafransky with it. Before the Jayhawks get it right back, it's going to be Dusso on the right side. Banked it off the boards, got it over to Nelson. Nelson trying to drop it to Vitullo, and he scores! Number 3, Riley Vitullo. Just right on the doorstep, able to tap home a pass from Tyler Nelson, and it is 4-1 Kansas halfway through the game. So 4-1 our score. Period number 2. As the Huskers try to crank it right back in, Van Heerden off the boards trying to find it over to Zadakis. As the Hawks now lead by 3 thanks to the goal from Riley Vitullo. It's his 4th of the year. As it's picked up by Pate. Dumped in by Friedhoff. The Jayhawks having to get back on side. So the Huskers will skate it out. As they move in through center, it's going to be Leroy with it. Leroy. Play broken up there by Gerber. And now he'll skate it out. He'll move to the right side for losing an edge there. Gerber got it right back. Trying to get a pass up front. Plays broken up there, it looks like by Biankowski. And Biankowski will swing down on the left side. Send it to the center, to the Tina. His shot blocked up front, and it looks like Walsh gets cross-checked from behind. And Walsh a little slow to gather himself. Number 49, Timmy Leroy, trying to plead his case here. Walsh with a little bit of a grin on his face. So the Jayhawks back on the power play. Number 49, Timmy Leroy, back in the box. As it was a shot through traffic by Hearn. Hit a man up front. Hearn holding the line there. And an offsides call. So a stoppage here with 8:33 left to go. Again, the Jayhawks leading by 3 thanks to number 3. Husker face-off win as it's walked in on the left side and a delayed penalty on Kansas now. So interference the call. Number 16, Tyler Nelson heading off. So it'll be 4-on-4 for 1:38. And a face-off win over to Nessa. Nessa quickly met by Davis. And it's going to turn into a little bit of a wrestling match in the corner. And it looks like Nebraska came out with it. A wraparound shot, missing the net there on the rebound. It's going to be Nessa skating it up. Nessa, the headman pass up over to Duso. Duso stops, chose to wait a little bit. And Duso will have it on the left side, trying to center it over to Nessa. And it goes a little too far, so it'll be back out to Breyer. Breyer shot it in. Now Siddons picking it up. Siddons curling around with speed. He's going to walk in at the hash marks, winding up a shot. Turning it aside there was Broadfoot, and the Huskers get it back. There's Nebraska skating it down. On the left side, it'll be Heiberg with it. Back to Brandt. His shot kicked away by Miles, and it'll be Nessa using the boards to get it to Duso. Duso try to get a headman pass, and there's Nessa sitting down Brandt. And a little bit of an extracurricular there. And then Walter Brandt with a penalty. Instead, it'll be Luke Nessa. It looked like Brandt had something to do with it. So it'll be an odd 4-on-3 power play for Nebraska with 17-19 left to go in period number 2. So off the face-off, the Jayhawks able to dump it down. Broadfoot will settle it for Bienkowski. Bienkowski left it for Datina. Weber's pass intercepted by Siddons. Siddons using the boards to clear it all the way out. And racing after it was going to be Hearn in a big knee-on-knee collision here. And Hearn's down. And you can tell that was not intentional at all. As number 9, Nathan Weber, putting the hands on his head. As that's a big loss for the Jayhawks. As number 19, Blake Hearn, down in pain. It was a high-speed knee-on-knee collision. As Hearn is being responsive to the trainer. Hearn able to get up on his own power. Definitely shaken up. As the referees are now trying to decide what the penalty will be. So actually looks like it's number 2, Bienkowski, who's done for the day, as that was the collision, but it looked like it was number 9 from my angle, as he was the one that was putting his hands on his head in the frustration. Again, it's a little tough to tell who's who with Nebraska because you can't see them until your back. Well, their back is facing us just due to the red numbering on the sleeves. So a 5 in a game for number 2, Zach Bienkowski. So it'll be 3-on-3. For about 6 seconds. So 6:48 left to go in period number 2. 4-1 still our score. As the Huskers are one man short and on a power play for just a little bit. As it's going to be Rogers with it. Now Datina settling it back over to Rogers. Tyler Nelson now out of the box. So it will be 4-on-4 for the next minute until Kansas will have about 3 minutes and some change on the power play. As it's Datina in the corner, centering it over to Leroy. Leroy tried a backhand shot turned aside by Miles. It'll be sent back the other way. Now Datina picking it up. Datina as he waits patiently. Cross-ice pass. A shot blocked up front by Schubert. Now Leroy on it. Leroy try to backhand it on net. Roberts able to send it out, and it hit the glove of Datina, so no icing. 28 seconds until Luke Nessa's out of the box. As this could be Siddons interrupting that play. The puck finds its way over to Nelson. Nelson back to Van Heerden. Over to Walsh. Walsh sent it up. As this could be Nelson walking in. Shoots one, and a save made by Broadfoot. And that stoppage coming with 5:27 left to go. So just about 9 more seconds until Kansas is on the power play. For 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So the face-off won to Vitullo. Vitullo makes a little move there before getting a pass over to Dusso. Dusso left it for Nessa, who's fresh out of the box. Nessa trying to center it over to Zadakis. And the Huskers chip it up into the netting and out of play with 5:09 remaining in the middle frame. Nelson won the draw back to Vitullo. Off the rebound, it looked like Dusso just right on the doorstep, unable to get it on net. That's a nice battle there by Zadakis, and instead he'll get called for a hook. Then a little extracurricular there. As that was number 22, Kane Barenstraw, with a hit after the whistle. But Zadakis will head off for a hooking, so it'll be a 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, barring any other penalties. So 4:49 left to go. 4-1 still our score. As it looked like the faceoff was won by Nebraska as they have it in the corner. It'll be picked up by Nessa. Nessa poking it back to himself with one hand. Before winning the battle there was Heiberg. And then a penalty called on Luke Nessa again. This time it'll be for a trip. Lots of penalties being called here in this second period. So now it's another 4-on-3 power play for the Huskers. But a nice interception there by Nelson, and he's able to dump it down immediately. As the Huskers carry it in through center ice. As it was Heiberg over to Davis. Davis to Brandt. Now Heiberg to Brandt again. His shot from the point missing the net there as it's over to Brown. Brown saucered it over to Brandt, and the Huskers have to get back on side, but breaking that play up was going to be Nelson. Forces it back over to Brown, who found it to Heiberg. Now Nelson trying to fight the puck loose. As Davis walked it in, it's going to be batted out of the air by Breyer. Over to Nelson now. Nelson on the left side. He's able to make a move around one man. Gets past Brown. A shot. Looked like it got blocked up front. and then Brown will play it back. As it skated in there by Heiberg. Sent to the point to Datina. Is this going to be Leroy trying to skate it in? So Zadakis out of the box, about 7 more seconds, and then Nessa will be back out. As it's taken away by Feeney, moving in, shot, and a save made by Broadfoot. As Nessa's now out of the box, the Jayhawks are on the power play for the next 40 seconds. Schubert, a great job holding the line there, but the Huskers able to poke it out. 28 to go on the power play. As it's picked up by Siddons. He's able to draw a heck of a penalty there with 2:11 left to go. So it's going to be looks like there were 2 Huskers that went to the box there. Evan Datina, one of them. So as the referees are talking to the scorers table, that'll allow a little bit of a timeout that both teams will utilize as they're huddled around the bench. So I'm seeing a penalty for number 13, Matt Zafronsky, up on the scoreboard here. Not sure what Evan Datina got. So 2:11 left to go in period number 2. And Datina's now out of the box. And he is leaving the bench, so he is done for the day. Either way, it's a 5-on-3 at the moment for the Jayhawks. As Vitullo left it for Duso, who got it to Nelson. As Duso with it, try to shot to the back door to Zadakis, and a save made by Broadfoot. So it looked like a 2 and a 10 handed out to Datina, and the penalty is being served by Zafransky. So 1:50 left to go. The Jayhawks on another power play. as they lead 4-1. So Vitullo getting it to the corner, intending it for Zadakis. The puck finding its way back over to Vitullo, and then it's cranked back in by Duso. There's a battle along the boards. Zadakis comes out with it as he has the puck. He's got a backhand pass over to Duso, but it's going to be taken away there by the Huskers. This is going to be over to Davis. Davis trying to pass it to the back door over to Heiberg, and a hooking penalty on Zadakis, and it's back to 4-on-4. Now a growing concern over in the scores table is if the Pen's still going to have any ink in it after all these penalties, because there's been plenty of them here in the second period. So 4-on-4 for the next minute 7 before there's a 53-second power play for Nebraska. So a face-off won by the Jayhawks. Vitullo tying it up, but the Huskers get it right back as it's Leroy with it. Now Leroy over to Weber. To Heiberg, back behind the net to Weber. This is going to be over to Duso. Now Heiberg with it again. So he's going to try a shot through the slot. It's loose in the crease, and they score. So Nebraska is back within 2. So the puck just squeaked right by Miles. It was sitting in the crease, and then Nebraska was right there on the doorstep to put it home, and they cut the lead just down to 2. Miles left it for Van Heerden. Van Heerden off the boards, gets it to Sidden. Sidden's able to poke it out of the zone. As it's going to be back over to Leroy, who left it for Weber. Back over to Leroy as he's going to skate in. The shot blockered away by Miles into the corner. As Feeney trying to get it out. Now Van Heerden able to poke it away. Van Heerden, saucer pass over to Feeney with 7 seconds left. Feeney waits, he tries to find someone on the back door. No good there as the puck goes up into the netting, and that'll do it for period number 2. Kansas will head off with a 4-2 lead. We'll be back in another 15 for period number 3, the final 20 minutes of the weekend. lined up and ready to go for period number 3. It's the Jayhawks out with the 4-2 lead. Gabe Daniel, play-by-play voice of Jayhawk hockey. As it's going to be Leroy with it. As he skates it in on the left side. Button hooks at the hash marks. He'll drop it back over to Holderfield, who blew a tire. It's going to be taken away by Nelson. Moving in on the right side. He'll drop it back over to Duso. Back to Nelson off the fancy move there, and a save made by Broadfoot. As this can be sent back in behind the net. 5 seconds left to go, and then the Jayhawks will be back to full strength. So Zadakis fresh out of the box. He'll head right to the bench, and it'll be Siddons heading back out there. The save made there by Miles, and a stoppage with 19:10 left to go. So the face-off won by the Jayhawks are able to dump it down. Comes all the way back. No icing, as it'll be Rogers with it. Rogers off the boards, over to Siddons, who cranked it on net, tipped up front by Feeney, and turned aside. Schubert holding the line, over to Medina. Schubert goes in to help out as it's into the corner. Now Feeney with it. He takes a weird tumble down. And a penalty called for a hand pass. Not a penalty, a stoppage. So it's thrown in the corner. Brown over to Brandt. Off the boards, up over to Quevedo. Quevedo getting pressured, so it forces something back over to Brandt. Holding the line there was Breyer. As Breyer threw it back in. And Medina gets hauled down there by Brown. Wanted a penalty. As the physicality and chippiness will start to ramp up. As Brown drove it in from the blue line. It's going to be McGinnis with it now. To Brown, to Brandt, a one-time shot there, sent to the far corner. A shot up front, Miles making the save. And a much-needed whistle with 17:54 left to go. So a shot from the point there by Pate. This could be Van Heerden using the boards to get it out. It'll come all the way back down. No use there as it's an icing call. This time a stoppage with 17:41. Now a wrister from the blue line sent wide as Vitullo able to chip it out of the zone. Nelson had a piece of it, try to backhand it up over to do so, but it's going to be skated in there by number 44, Julian Marolda. So it's going to be Nelson with it. Passed over to Van Heerden. He tried a shot, blocked up front into the netting. And another stoppage, this time with 17:18 left to go. do so. Toss up the face-off over to Nelson. Nelson try to throw it back behind the net, but it's going to be taken away by Brandt. A weird bounce goes right to Vitullo. Vitullo gets knocked down. He wanted a call there, but he's not going to get it. As Beaster lost control. Is this going to be dumped in by the Huskers? Van Heerden from behind his own net will backhand it up over to Nelson. Nelson using the boards to get it out. As they'll dump it back the other way. Miles will settle it for Walsh. As Walsh try to play it up the boards to get it out of the zone. Now Vitullo. Slow to gather himself. But it's going to be Nelson just dancing his way in. Tries a shot, unable to get on net. And then it's going to be Treader with it. Now Nelson picks up the rebound. Spin around shot, hit the post. Then the netting, and then another whistle. 4-2 still our score with, again, 16:22 left to go in the game. So right off the hop, it's going to be Zadakis racing to the corner, pressured off the puck there, and they'll be Heiberg with it for the Huskers. Heiberg over to Rogers. Rogers getting pressured there by Gerber. Gerber, enough pressure there to interrupt the play, and it's going to be Pate with it. He's going to take a collision there from Friedhoff. It's going to be Heiberg with it, moving in, pressured off the puck there by Nessa, and Roberts playing it around. A shot through traffic up to Miles, kicked away, puck loose on the doorstep. Zadakis poking it away, and the Huskers score. So a flurry of chaos gets the Huskers back within one. As it's thrown to the corner, it'll be Weber on it. Weber getting pressured by Schubert. Off the boards, Brandt. Cranks it back in. It'll be picked up by Heiberg. Heiberg met by Schubert in the corner as it was poked away. And skating it out is going to be Siddons. Siddons try to get it across over to Feeney. As it's going to be Heiberg through the neutral zone. Poked away by Siddons. As it's thrown to the corner. Schubert with it now. Backhand pass over to Feeney. Feeney, headman up to Siddons, who try to get it back to Medina. The Huskers dump it back in. Now it's going to be Breyer to Medina. This is going to be Feeney losing control. Quevedo now back behind the goal line. This is going to be Siddons. He stops, he waits. And it's going to turn into a battle along the boards, but it looks like Breyer was able to help out getting that back. Quevedo, a spin around backhand pass to the slot. This is going to be Datina. Rather, that's Pate skating it in. Now Siddons on the right side, stops. Slowly, patiently tries a shot, hit a man up front. Then it's going to be in the corner. There's going to be Walsh. Wrists one from the point, and it's going to ride the boards around where Van Heerden will play it off the boards, trying to get it back into the corner. Now Nelson back to Walsh, across to Van Heerden. Back to Nelson through center. He's going to turn on the Jets for dropping it back to do so. A shot right to the glove of Broadfoot. And a stoppage with 14:05 left to go. As the score is now 4-3. So the face-off won by Nebraska. Vitullo pressuring right away as that forces a pass over to Marolda. Now over to Hoffman on the right side. Hoffman trying to center it, and it'll go right to Miles. And another whistle. going to be over to Walsh, who poked it up to Nelson. Now Nelson's going to come in with speed. Nelson shooting one, and a stick save made by Broadfoot. Send it up into the netting and out of play. So off the face-off, number 49 throwing it on net. Luke Nessa behind his own net for the Jayhawks. A headman pass up over to Friedhoff. Friedhoff unable to connect with Gerber. So Holderfield has it back behind the net, wrapping it around over to Weber. Is there a Schubert trying to redirect that puck? It's going to be Roberts getting it up and out. But the Huskers getting it back in as it's Pate. On the right side, he throws it around the net. It's going to be picked back up by Roberts, who finds it to Friedhoff, who centered it to Zadakis. As it's dumped in, it'll be Rogers. Met there by Leroy. Zadakis now trying to get it over to Gerber. A little too much mustard on that pass. And Pate sending it back out. Breyer redirecting it. Right back over to Rogers. Rogers off the glass. Unable to connect with Pate, and Breyer will dump it back in. The Jayhawks having to get back on side. Now Rogers gets poked off the puck there by Nelson. As the Huskers send it back the other way, do so up to Siddons. Siddons tried a shot, kicked away there by Broadfoot. As the puck's over to number 12, that's Joey Beester. He sent it out of the zone, but Breyer backhands it over to Duso, who got it over to Nelson. Nelson makes a move through one man. A shot, another stick save by Broadfoot. There's another puck out of play. .11:46 left to go in a 4-3 game. Kansas in the lead as the face-off kicked over to Nelson. As Nelson has it back behind the net, he'll curl around at the hash marks before making a bank pass over to Breyer. Breyer back to Nelson. Nelson walking in, a backhand pass to do so. Shot hit the glove of Broadfoot. It's going to be sent out, but held in by Schubert. Now around the boards again over to Brandt. Brandt met there by Duso, but the pass over to Berenstraw connects. Now Nelson gets it back. His shot sailing high. Holding the line was Schubert. Schubert got it to Siddons, but the Huskers get it out. Schubert gets it right back for the Jayhawks. Over to Breyer. Breyer tried to get it up to do so, but it's going to be sent back in. As Breyer has it again. Off the glass, out of the zone, up over to Duso. Duso finds it to Vitullo. Now Vitullo shoots, blocked up front, and he gets tripped down. No call there. As he was getting back to his feet, Vitullo was able to get the puck. As it's going to be Siddons with it now. Siddons pushed off, puck thrown to the corner. Now Pate with it. Now McGinnis. McGinnis poked away by Siddons. Got it up to Vitullo. Back the other way as it's Hoffman dumping it in. On the puck for the Jayhawks was Van Heerden. Wrapped it around over to Feeney, who left it for Walsh. Walsh tried to drop it back. It gets to Medina, who got it to Vitullo. Chopped it right over to Feeney. And it looks like offsides on Kansas with 10:02 left to go. Spatullo wraps it around the boards. As it'll be Pate trying to send it out. Gets it over to Heiberg. Heiberg connects with Hoffman. Now Hoffman. He's going to skate through center. He'll cut towards the right side before riding the circle down. Lost an edge. And the Jayhawks clear it but can't get it out. Now they do as Medina had it. Dropped it back. The Huskers starting to provide a little bit of pressure here, but it's going to be forced back in, blocked up front. Medina able to backhand it out of the zone, but it's right back to where Holderfield will have it, and they get it across to Heiberg. He walks it in. He tried a shot. It looked like it got blocked up front. Then the puck is sent around the glass, then back up to Holderfield. Holderfield poked away. Friedhoff finds Gerber all alone. Shoots, he scores! Jack Gerber makes it 5-3. And the Jayhawks regain the 2-goal lead with 9:07 left to go in the third period. That was a great heads-up play by Cade Friedhoff. You saw Gerber coming down on the left side. And then the Jayhawks are now up by 2. A great play back under the goal line by Zadakis. Got the puck over to Nessa. Off the boards, trying to get it back to Gerber. Now Zadakis gets it out of the zone. Zadakis still with it. Over to Gerber. Winds up, shoots one right to the chest of Broadfoot. And a save made with 8:33 left to go. This Kansas team looking to sweep the Huskers as they lead by 2. Having won their last 4 games. A team that's a lot more special and much different compared to the last 2 seasons. As it's going to be picked up by Datina as he tries to cut through center. Backhand shot right to the chest of Miles, and a stoppage by number 30 with 8:11 left to go. And another save made by Miles there, right off the faceoff. As it looks like Nelson trying to get the puck out of the zone, but the Huskers with it. Jayhawks get it over to Siddons, who got it to do so. Who's able to get the headman pass up to Nelson. Nelson unable to catch it as it's forced to the corner. It'll wrap around over to Nessa. Tipped up front, and it hit the crossbar. As it's up front over to Siddons. So Broadfoot getting bailed out there. This is going to be sent back around the other way. 7:20 left to go. Nelson, not sure what to do with it. He's able to make a little fancy move there. Almost able to get past number 13, Zafransky, and it's going to be dumped in. Wrapped around the other way. Siddons on net. Rather, it was blocked up front. Now Breyer with a nice heads-up play there, a reverse hit, and a stoppage. There's a injured Husker player. So the Huskers win the faceoff as they skate it out, but it's going to be Zach Schubert right on the puck as they try to play it around the boards. Is this going to be thrown around over to Breyer? Breyer trying to get it out over to Zadakis, and then Feeney right there. But the Huskers get it back. Now Breyer off the boards, gets the puck out of the zone, forcing Nebraska to regroup. And an offsides call here with 6:23 left to go. As it's an icing on Kansas now with 6:14. 5-3 still our score. So another face-off win by the Huskers. As it was a nice shot and block up front by Zadakis. But the Huskers still have possession. Just under 6 minutes to go. Now Medina sends it back over to Breyer. Backhanding it to Feeney. Now to Breyer. Finding it to Zadakis as he's knocked down in the corner, and then a big hit there by Breyer. So a Nebraska power play coming up with 5:38 left to go. It's dumped all the way back down. Settled by Broadfoot and left for Brandt. Brandt from behind his own net gets the headman pass to connect with Heiberg. As Heiberg will get pressured off the puck there by Nessa. Sent up by Brandt, kicked away by Miles in the corner now. Nessa able to fight the puck off, but Leroy gets it right back. So he had it behind the Kansas net, tries to get a pass to the point. Now Brandt with it. Saucered into the corner. As the Jayhawks able to clear it out, racing back after it's Brandt. Kansas getting a little bit of a line change going here. Is it the bank pass up over to Heiberg. As the Huskers have it in the corner, they send it back behind the net. As the team's shot goes into the netting and out of play. So another face-off win by the Jayhawks as Feeney was able to clear it all the way down with 3:57 left to go. Siddons took it away as he's going to curl around. He'll cut back before an ill-advised pass goes to the corner as McGinnis will pick it up. He tries a shot, that goes wide. Now Nebraska under the goal line, now behind the net as Kansas is back to full strength. As Lance Medina will hop out onto the ice. Feeney poked it loose. It's a 2-on-1 for the Jayhawks. Feeney waits, shoots, and he scores! John Feeney makes it 6-3 with 3:25 left to go. Has great patience there by number 4. So the face-off won back over to Brandt. Brandt's going to walk it up as it's dumped in. Back behind the net, off the glass, and over to Zadakis. As Friedhoff banks it off the glass, racing after, it's going to be Gerber. Gerber stops, he waits. And he's just going to move up to the point, getting a pass over to Schubert. Schubert pressured off the puck there. And Breyer will dump it in as Kansas has to get back on side. As the puck finds its way back to the stick of the team captain, Caleb Dusso. Schubert trying his best to hold the line there, but it bounces back out. Dusso will dump it in. There's about 2:33 left to go. It's going to be Dusso with it. Getting it over to Gerber. Now Gerber patiently waiting around. You see, lost control of the puck. And it's going to be Broadfoot just reaching around the post and covering it up. Giving us a whistle with 2:17. So this face-off won by the Huskers. Back over to Pate. Off the boards and up over to Hoffman. Hoffman on the left side. He's going to be met there by Breyer as it's back over to Nelson in the corner. Rather, that was Vitullo who took it away. Now Vitullo will curl around. Got it to Breyer. Breyer's headman pass connects with Dusso. Now Dusso with speed, trying to get it to Nelson. Just a little too much on that pass. So he has to pick it up in the corner. Now Rogers at the hash marks. He's going to skate it up and get a headman pass going. Dumped in. Schubert picking it up now. Schubert, a nice reverse hit. Backhanding it to Vitullo, who tried to tip it out of the zone. As it's thrown back in. 1:20 left to go. 6-3 our score. The Jayhawks on top. As it's going to be Nelson. He's able to backhand it out of the zone. He's going to fly down. Nelson on this left side. He's going to drop it back. A shot save made there by Broadfoot, and Vitullo a little pushing and shoving. Holding the line, or unable to hold the line, was Luke Nessa as he dumped it in. It's going to be back behind the net where Brandt will have it. Brandt off the boards. Puck's intercepted there by Roberts, and Siddons able to dump it in. Now Medina, a nice little play there to Siddons, who got it over to Feeney. Feeney waits, shoots, and he scores! And it is now 7-3. With 44 seconds left to go. So the party continues for Kansas on an afternoon that's been nothing but the Jayhawks. So Feeney dumped it in as it's back over to Holderfield. Holderfield sent it out. Roberts on it as he got it up over to Siddons. Siddons just try to chop it in. Over to Datina. Now Datina. His pass over to Leroy. Just bounce it back. Send over to Rogers. 18 to go. So he's just going to curl back around a headman pass. Now about 5 seconds left to go. The Huskers will just hold on to it as time runs out, and that'll do it here from Independence Community Ice. It's the Jayhawks taking this one 7-3. Completing the weekend sweep and making the win streak stretch out to 5. Again, I'm Gabe Daniel. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this weekend. And I will see you guys next weekend when the Jayhawks are back in action.